The Serengeti Mara ecosystem of Africa is a land of incredible drama and beauty. At its heart is one of the most magnificent spectacles on Earth, the Great Migration. Every year, more than 1 million wildebeest embark on a colossal journey. They travel in a huge, continuous circle, following the life-giving rains. This endless pilgrimage is not just a journey for food, it is a fundamental force of nature that shapes this entire landscape. The wildebeest are the gardeners of the plains, grazing the grasses and ensuring new, fresh growth for countless other species that depend on it. Their movement is the very pulse of this vibrant world. This river of life flows across vast plains and through treacherous rivers. The wildebeest are not alone on their quest. They are joined by hundreds of thousands of zebras and gazelles, creating a moving feast for the predators that lie in wait. Lions, hyenas, and crocodiles all depend on this predictable rhythm of abundance. For these hunters, the migration is a time of plenty, a critical period that sustains their populations. The health of the wildebeest herd is therefore directly connected to the health of every other creature in this intricate web of life. A change in their numbers can send ripples of consequence throughout the entire ecosystem. The importance of this migration extends beyond the animal kingdom. For generations, local communities have lived alongside this natural wonder. It is a source of cultural heritage and increasingly a vital part of the local economy through tourism. People travel from all corners of the globe to witness this breathtaking event. The sight of 1 million animals on the move is an experience that stays with you forever. Protecting this migration is not only about saving animals, it is also about preserving a unique natural heritage and supporting the livelihoods of the people who call this extraordinary place home. But to protect this incredible phenomenon, we must first understand it. And a fundamental question has always been, just how many wildebeest are there? Knowing their exact number is crucial. It tells us if the population is healthy, growing, or in decline. It helps conservationists make the right decisions to manage the national parks and protect the migration routes from human encroachment. For many years, answering this seemingly simple question was an incredibly difficult task, a challenge that pushed human ingenuity to its limits, and often left us with only a partial picture of the true scale of this natural marvel. For decades, the only way to get a sense of the wildebeest numbers was to go up into the sky. Scientists and conservationists would board small aircraft, flying low over the vast plains of the Serengeti and the Mara. From these planes, they would try to count the animals below. This was a painstaking and often dangerous job. The planes had to fly in precise grid patterns, covering thousands of square kilometers of wild and unpredictable terrain. The counters would peer through their windows, using mechanical clickers to tally every wildebeest they saw, a monumental task when the herds can stretch to the horizon. This method, known as aerial survey, was the best tool available for a very long time. Observers would take photographs from the plane, and later, back in a lab, teams of people would spend countless hours, sometimes weeks, staring at these images. They would meticulously count each and every dot that represented a wildebeest. Imagine looking at a photograph filled with thousands of tiny specks and having to count them one by one. It was slow, tiring work, and it was very easy for the human eye to make mistakes. An animal hidden in the shade of an acacia tree could easily be missed. The challenges did not end there. The sheer scale of the migration meant that it was impossible to count every single animal. The herd is constantly moving, and it is never all in one place at the same time. So scientists could only survey a sample of the area and then use mathematical models to estimate the total population. These estimations were incredibly clever, but they were still just that, estimations. They came with a margin of error, meaning the true number could be higher or lower. The weather, the time of day, and the skill of the observer could all influence the final count. Furthermore, these aerial surveys could only happen periodically, perhaps once every few years. They were expensive to conduct and required a great deal of logistical planning. Between these surveys, the population could change significantly without anyone knowing. A drought or a disease outbreak could reduce the herd's numbers, but conservationists might not become aware of the full impact for a long time. There was a clear and urgent need for a better, more accurate and more frequent way to take the pulse of this great herd. A new perspective was needed, one from much, much higher up. The breakthrough came from a place far beyond the African plains, outer space. Today, a fleet of advanced satellites orbits our planet, capturing incredibly detailed images of the Earth's surface. These satellites can see things with a clarity that was once the stuff of science fiction. Scientists wondered if this powerful new tool could be used to solve the old problem of counting the wildebeest. Could an eye in the sky, hundreds of kilometers above, see an individual animal moving across the Serengeti? The answer, it turned out, was a resounding yes. It was the beginning of a remarkable new chapter in wildlife conservation. The first step was to capture the images. Researchers used very high-resolution satellite imagery, pictures so sharp that they could distinguish the shape of a single wildebeest from above. They timed the image capture perfectly, focusing on the vast open plains during the dry season. This is a time when the wildebeest gather in enormous, dense herds, making them more visible from space. The satellite would pass over, and in an instant it would capture a snapshot of a huge area, freezing a moment in time for tens of thousands of animals. These images provided a completely new and unbiased view of the herd. However, this created a new challenge. While the satellites could capture the images, counting the animals in them was still a massive task. A single satellite photo could contain over 100,000 wildebeest. Counting them by hand would take a person months and would be prone to the same errors as before. This is where another piece of modern technology came into play, artificial intelligence, or AI. Scientists developed a special computer program and trained it to recognize the specific shape and size of a wildebeest in a satellite image. They showed the AI thousands of examples, teaching it to spot a wildebeest just as a human would. The AI learned its job remarkably well. Once trained, this powerful computer algorithm could scan a massive satellite image and count every single wildebeest within minutes. It could do what would take a team of humans many months to complete, and it could do it with incredible accuracy and consistency. The AI never gets tired, and its attention never wanders. It can count animals in the bright sun or in the shade with equal precision. This combination of satellite eyes and an AI brain gave scientists a tool more powerful than they had ever dreamed of for monitoring this great migration. When the scientists finally let the artificial intelligence analyze the new satellite images, they held their breath. For years, the official estimates, based on the old aerial surveys, had placed the wildebeest population at around 1.3 million. This number had been the foundation for all conservation plans. But the new technology was about to reveal a surprising truth. The AI-powered count returned a number that was significantly higher. It revealed that the population was not 1.3 million, but was likely closer to 1.6 million wildebeest. There were hundreds of thousands more animals than anyone had previously thought. This was a stunning and wonderful revelation. It suggested that the wildebeest population was healthier and more robust than the old data had led us to believe. The previous methods, with all their challenges, had been undercounting the herd. The eye in the sky, free from human error and limitations, had provided a more accurate picture. This good news brought a wave of relief and optimism to conservationists. It showed that the decades of effort to protect the Serengeti Mara ecosystem, to fight poaching and to preserve the migration corridors had been more successful than previously known. Knowing the more accurate number is incredibly important for the future. It allows park managers and conservation groups to make better, more informed decisions. They can now plan with greater confidence, knowing the true size of the population that the ecosystem needs to support. This knowledge helps in managing water resources, planning controlled burns to encourage new grass, and working with local communities to ensure that land use outside the parks does not block the ancient migration routes. A more precise number leads to more precise and effective conservation actions on the ground. This pioneering method of counting animals from space is a game changer, not just for the wildebeest but for wildlife all over the world. The same technology can now be adapted to monitor other species that gather in large open landscapes, such as caribou in the Arctic or seals on remote coastlines. It gives us a powerful new way to keep watch over our planet's most vulnerable populations, often without disturbing them in their natural habitat. In an age of great environmental challenges, this fusion of space technology and artificial intelligence offers a profound new ray of hope for the future of the natural world.